Hi, I'm Alex. If you're new here, welcome. If not, welcome back. Today we are doing a 24-hour readathon. So literally the only YouTube videos I've been watching lately are reading vlogs and book videos in general, but specifically 24-hour reading vlogs. I don't know what it is. I want to do one so badly. I am home by myself right now, and I've been struggling to sleep at night anyways, so I figured why not do this now. So I am gonna do the timer method of this video. I know everybody does it differently. Hold for plan. I know everybody does this differently. Some people stay up all night, some people don't, and just stop the timer when they're asleep. That is what I'm going to be doing. I do work 9 to 5. I have a full-time job. That is something about me that's going to make this a little bit different. I'm going to be listening to audiobooks while I'm working, so I can still keep this going, but I wanted to go over my TBR with you. I have it right here. So starting with the book that I am currently reading, I am currently making my way through The Mistake by Elle Kennedy. I am on chapter 18, which is page 138, so I do still have 180 pages of this left to read, so that is number one. After that, I would like to read and annotate Magnolia Park's The Long Way Home. I am dying to know what happens with Magnolia and BJ. I have been restraining myself from reading this for a while, but I think that a 24-hour reading video where I'm doing nothing but reading is the perfect time to do that. So that is my second book that I'd like to read. Anyways, the next book on my TBR is The Selection by Kiera Cass. This is something that I didn't think I would ever have a desire to read, but then I heard somebody say it was a dystopian version of The Bachelor, and I love The Bachelor and I love dystopian novels, so I am curious to read this, and I think it'll be good. I also have this on Kindle Unlimited, so if I need to switch back and forth, then I will do that. Speaking of Kindle Unlimited, I have 2 books and their audiobook companions downloaded for this challenge. I do have a lot I need to do. I'm leaving for vacation literally Friday at 7 a.m. So I need to make sure that I'm good. So I have the Kindle book and audiobook for Regretting You by Colleen Hoover is number 1, and then the second one that I have, if I need it, is The Highland Fling by Megan Quinn. I have had that on my TBR for a while. It was one of the first books I downloaded once I got Kindle Unlimited, and then the last book that I have on my TBR for this video is Milk and Honey by Ruby Carr. I saw somebody else annotating poetry in a 24-hour readathon, and I was like, I want to annotate poetry, so I am finally going to read that, and I know that it should take me little time. If I read all of those books in 24 hours, okay, thanks dog. If I read all of those books within 24 hours, and also run out of the audiobooks, I have a very large physical TBR. I'm sure I will not run out of options, but this is what I'm going to start with. So we are going to start in probably 10 minutes, and that'll be that. So let's go. Alright y'all, it's about to be 5 o'clock. Like I said, we are going to pick up The Mistake and finish reading this first. I am 40% of the way through, and it just hit 5, so here we go. Okay, we're 30 minutes in and I've read 70 pages so far, and I have to say this book just makes me love Garrett and Hannah even more, which is crazy because it's not even about them and they're barely even in it. But the way that somebody made a joke about bros before hoes and Garrett said, "Call my girl a hoe again and you won't have a bro," like, that was just the cutest. I don't know, I loved that. I think Logan and Grace are cute too, but I don't know, I just loved Garrett and Hannah so much. I think that's why I liked the deal so much. Okay, so update. We are 1 hour and 35 minutes in, and I just finished The Mistake by Elle Kennedy. Like I said, I had like 180 pages left of this, so I am now done, which is great. I really liked this book. I didn't like it nearly as much as The Deal, and like I said, I just like Hannah and Garrett better. In reading The Deal, I kept telling my boyfriend that Hannah and Garrett reminded me a lot of us. We very much are the let's order pizza and watch a full season of Breaking Bad in one sitting. So they were a lot more fun to read about personally for me. I think this one was also a lot more hockey centric, and a little more, I don't want to say raunchy because it's not quite that, but maybe just like smutty, which I don't know, it's fine. I usually just skim over scenes that are written like that anyways. But first book of the readathon is down. The next thing I need to do is figure out what I am eating for dinner, and I would also like to take a shower because I feel kind of gross. So I think I'm going to start the Regretting You audiobook for now, and then when I am done like getting my life together and I'm ready to sit down and read again, we will probably start Magnolia Parks, but we'll see. Okay, I decided that before I start my audiobook, I'm going to spend like 20 minutes going through Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur and doing some annotating. So I have all my midliners, some clear sticky notes, and then I picked this, like, I don't know, moody set of little page tabs. So let's do this. Okay, exactly 30 minutes later, we are done with Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur. It definitely is well loved now, with lots of highlights and underlines and tabs of poems I want to go back to. Milk and Honey, I think sort of like all nonfiction, self-help, poetry type works of literature, it really depends on the stage of your life that you're in while you're reading it. So right now I'm in an extremely happy and healthy relationship, and to me some of those things weren't as heartbreaking as, say, if I had just gotten out of a really toxic relationship. I might be in a different mindset. So for me right now, it was really good. It was just nice to read through some good poetry. Some of the things about family hit, and there were definitely some poems that got me more than others, especially the ones about, you know, loving yourself and wanting to spend the rest of your life with yourself. Those things are important and they're real. So I just finished Milk and Honey. Now we are going to start the Regretting You audiobook. I need to do some like chore things. I need to take out the trash, make sure it's at the curb, and I want to do that before it's dark out, although I think it probably is already. And then I need to order dinner, and like I said, I want to shower. So switching into audiobook mode now, and yeah, I'll keep you updated. Okay, I just got to chapter 4 in Regretting You, which is page 52. So I am going to update my story graph. I am on page 52. So I'm 15% of the way through this book. My dinner got here. I ate a little bit of it while I was reading. We are at 3 hours and 8 minutes, so let's pause it. Okay, so I just hit the 5-hour mark, and I am on page 170 of Regretting You by Colleen Hoover. So I'm almost halfway done. I am starting to get tired. It's around 11 o'clock. I still have a lot that I need to do. I would love to finish this book this evening, but we will see. I don't know. I'm sleepy. How do people do this? Especially for 24 hours straight. It's like, my eyes hurt. I don't get it. Okay, so last night, after the last time I talked to you, I kept reading Regretting You by Colleen Hoover for a while. When I went to bed, the timer was at 7 hours and 15 minutes. I had just paused it, and when I woke up this morning, the unthinkable happened, and my timer was gone, which is awful, but I'm glad I looked at it right before I went to bed. So we ended last night at 7 hours and 15 minutes. So far today, we're at 1 hour and 41 minutes. I finished Regretting You by Colleen Hoover, and immediately went to Barnes & Noble to try to buy it so I could have it on my shelf, but they didn't have it in stock, which is crazy because they had like 55 copies 2 days ago, so whatever. I don't know if it just like blew up on TikTok again or something, but that was annoying. So yeah, I just finished Regretting You. I rated it 4 stars. I thought it was pretty low on the scale of like ripping your heart out Colleen Hoover books, at least. I feel like It Ends With Us, Ugly Love, and November 9th hit me the hardest out of all of her books, and this was just not like on that level. It was good. It reminded me of Reminders of Him. I really enjoyed it. I was entertained the whole time, and I thought it was cute. But yeah, I started listening to the audiobook for The Highland Fling by Megan Quinn this morning while I was out running errands, and I have been listening to that while I'm working. So that is that. I'm going to keep listening to The Highland Fling and keep working, and then at my lunch break we will probably pick up a physical book. So looking forward to that. Okay, so we are 3 hours and 17 minutes into today's stopwatch, which means that we are 10 and a half hours in overall. I started listening to the audiobook for Highland Fling. I think I said that this morning, and I just could not get into it. So then I picked up the selection, which I like so far. I've read like the first 20 pages, but I'm working and getting things done, so I can't like physically read a book right now. So I found a podcast of somebody reading the Inheritance Games, and they're like just reading the book, and I didn't want to pay for the audiobook, so that's what I've been listening to. I'm on chapter 16, which is page 64. So that is good that I'm getting that done. I like it so far. I think it's interesting. I'm curious to see where it goes. I'm definitely more intrigued by the selection, honestly, than the Inheritance Games, but I am curious to see what happens. I don't think we're going to finish the 24 hours today. I still have 14 hours to go, and it's currently 2:15 p.m., and I just feel like that's not really realistic today to stay up until 4 a.m. because I have to get up at 6 for work tomorrow, so we will finish it tomorrow morning, I promise. I do ultimately just want to see how much I can read in 24 hours. So I am going to continue to use The Inheritance Games as my audiobook and reading the selection when I am actually able to physically read. I do have a lot of things to do tonight, so I'm probably going to spend a lot of time listening to this audiobook, but we will see overall, and I will keep you updated along the way, of course. Okay, so the timer is currently at 5 hours and 21 minutes for today, which means we're just over 12 and a half hours in, and it's been exactly 24 hours since I hit start. So 12 and a half hours is pretty good considering that I worked today and slept 8 hours last night. So I am currently making my way through the selection. This is my physical book right now. I am on page 78. I just finished chapter 7. There's a lot of toxic masculinity in this book so far that I really am not enjoying. But other than that, I think the book is interesting. I realized I haven't really been giving book descriptions of literally anything in this video, so I guess what the selection is about is this dystopian world in which you are separated into class, and then based on numbers, 1 being the best, 8 being the worst, and you do jobs based on your class, you get paid based on your jobs, so whatever. They call them castes. So this girl is a Caste 5. Her name is America, which is interesting. And there is a prince who they are about to go through the selection process for to find a new princess. So they let girls from all over the nation put in their names and their profiles, and then they selected 35 people for the prince to choose between. So I just got to the point where America was sent off to the selection, so I am curious to see where it goes from here. And then I am also reading The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I've never been someone who goes back and forth between 2 books, so this is honestly a little confusing. I'm on page 131, which is chapter 32 of this book. I've just been listening to this audiobook while I'm doing things. I'm leaving for a trip tomorrow, so while I'm packing and doing laundry, and then also while I'm doing work, this is what I've been listening to. So those are my 2 current reads. The Inheritance Games is about this random girl from Connecticut, which I always love when protagonists are from Connecticut. I think it's so fun. That is randomly left the fortune of a billionaire, and she has to live in the house for a year in order to get access to the money. And there's drama with the family because obviously they thought they were gonna get it, so they're trying to figure out now why she has received it. The last book that I read was Regarding You by Colleen Hoover, which was about a woman who's, it's about this woman Morgan and this guy Jonah, and the book is dual perspective from the mom and daughter's point of view. The daughter is Clara, and the father and the sister of the mother both die, and I might need to cut some of this because I don't know what's on the back of the book, but it's kind of just them trying to clean up the mess of these deaths and dealing with family issues that come up after that. So I thought it was a good book. Before that, I read Milk and Honey by Ruby Carr, which is just a poetry book about heartbreak for the most part. And then the first book that I read was The Mistake by Elle Kennedy, which is the second book in the Off Campus series. and is about a hockey player at Briar University who basically meets this girl and falls for her, and she decides they can't be together, and it's kind of their story. So I did also go buy the next book, which is The Score, so I am debating starting that, but I need to finish these 2 books, and I do really want to get to Magnolia Parks, so I'm not sure. We'll see. Also, I didn't say this, but I need one more outfit for my trip to Florida. So we are going to leave to go to the mall right now. By we, I mean you and I are going to go to the mall. Well, I'm probably not going to film for this video, but I'm filming 2 videos at once right now. My head is confused. Anyways, I'm going to go to the mall and try to find one more outfit for this trip. I ended up getting nothing at the mall, so that was a big ol' waste of time, other than the fact that I got to page 274 in Inheritance Games out of, that's book 2, out of 372 pages, so I have about 100 pages left of this. I am enjoying it so far, but I do think that books don't hit the same when I don't listen, or when I'm listening to the audiobook, I think. So right now I'm predicting it's probably going to be like a 4-star for me, but I was really hoping that I was going to like love it with all my heart like everybody else does, but that's okay. I just got home. I have a couple of more things that I need to do, and then I'm going to listen to the audiobook obviously while I'm doing the things. We're going to a Halloween party this weekend, so I need to make our costumes. But yeah. I will update you next time I have an update. I guess I should show you what the time is at while we're talking. I'm currently 7 hours and 36 minutes in, which means overall I'm just under 15 hours in, which is pretty good. That I've gotten through at this point 3 full books and 3/4 of this book, and then like a third of selection. So I'm pretty happy with how I'm doing thus far for being less than 15 hours in. The lighting up here is always terrible, but there's nothing I can do about it. We are currently at 8 hours and 55 minutes of today's timer, which means we're at just over 16 hours total. And here's the update. I'm on page 103 of the selection, and in my audiobook of the Inheritance Games, I've made it to chapter 79, which is page 322. So we're doing really well. I've gotten all of our laundry done, so I've gotten something accomplished. I also ordered dinner and ate already, which is good. I am about to have to listen to the audiobook a little bit because I have to make our costumes for the Disney Halloween party that we're going to tomorrow. I can't believe I waited until this late, but all the designs are done. I just have to physically put them on shirts, so it should be pretty easy. But I am going to keep listening to the audiobook and reading, obviously, until I go to bed. I just meant to open my timer to show you, and it went away again. It was at 12 hours and 51 minutes. I'm so sad about this. I did, however, just finish making all the shirts that I needed to make for a Disney trip. So I also finished The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I will say the audiobook that I was listening to was somebody just reading the book, and it was honestly pretty terrible. If you're gonna post those things, like, thank you, I appreciate you, but maybe edit out you like coughing and yawning or drinking water or petting your dog so loud that you can't hear any of the actual audiobook. But anyways, I'm rating this a 4 stars. I think it was pretty good. I really was wondering if I was going to be left wanting more, wanting to read the second book, and then at the very end of the epilogue it got me. So with the 12 hours and 51 minutes that I've done, plus the 7 hours and 13 minutes. We're at 20, a little over 20 hours. Yeah. So we have around 4 hours left. It's 11:11 right now. I am going to sit down and read the selection for a little bit, and then I have to pack, so we'll probably switch back to audiobook at that point, but I'm not positive. Alright, I am exhausted. I'm sure you can see it in my face. We're 2 hours and 18 minutes into this timer, which means we're 22 hours and 22 hours and 22 minutes in overall. I just finished The Selection by Kiera Cass. I absolutely love this book. I rated it 4.5 stars because I think it started a little slow, but I can absolutely see the rest of the series being 5 stars for me, so I think I'm actually gonna start reading The Elite probably tomorrow, because I need to know what happens next. So this book is really good. We still have an hour and 38 minutes left of this, so most of that will probably be an audiobook tomorrow morning, so I will keep you updated on how I finish. But for this evening, I am going to pause the timer because I still need to go pack my bag. I leave in 5.5 hours for a trip and I'm not packed yet, so it's time to take a break from reading for a minute. I've literally just walked in my house like in the last 2 minutes from being in Orlando all weekend, but I wanted to finish off this video. So last time we talked, I had an hour and 37 minutes of reading left that I had to do, which is just like such a short amount of time that it sucks that I couldn't get it done, but I did finish it on the plane down. I started reading Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I had this book in my desk in my office, so I just grabbed it on my way out because I hadn't brought a physical book with me. I got to like exactly part 2, which the chapter starts on page 195. I had already read 40 pages of this prior, but I read about 150 pages of it. I have to say, I don't think that I'm as like, I don't know, I don't care as much about Nina as I did about like Evelyn Hugo and Daisy Jones. I love Taylor Jenkins Reid's writing, but I don't know, this just isn't my favorite of her books, which sucks because I know that it's a lot of people's like top of her books. So yes, I have about 160 pages left of this that I will get to at some point this week, but I read so many books last week that I think I need to take a little break. I hope that doing this didn't put me in a 24-hour, or didn't put me in a reading slump, but we'll see. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.